Is adrenal fatigue a real thing? Let's dive into this topic. Let's extract everything we possibly can out of it to see if maybe you're experiencing adrenal fatigue, if adrenal fatigue is something we actually can experience, and maybe what to do about the symptoms that you're feeling. First thing first is, in my experience, when I was really struggling with my health, someone told me that I had adrenal fatigue. And in that moment, I felt very validated. I felt very like, oh my gosh, these symptoms, this exhaustion, all of these things make so much sense. Now, I didn't go to a doctor. I didn't get a diagnosed adrenal fatigue situation. And this is where the term adrenal fatigue, I feel, is a little bit wishy-washy. So if you look at the diagnosable realm of adrenal fatigue, there is a certain standard of the functionality of the adrenals that has to be met in order to be termed adrenal fatigue. And a lot of doctors will say most people don't hit that threshold. So most people aren't hitting the number to be able to diagnose adrenal fatigue. Now, in the holistic health space, we know that a lot of things don't show up on blood work until it is like way far gone, until the body has gotten to such a bad place that we can get a diagnosis of something, but that doesn't invalidate how you feel. That doesn't invalidate that your adrenals aren't working the way that they should be working for optimal health. So even if you might not have diagnosable adrenal fatigue, that doesn't mean that your adrenals are doing well. And in fact, if you're experiencing these symptoms, and I will list the symptoms here, if you are experiencing these symptoms, that is enough. That is enough, in my opinion, to tell us that your adrenals are not working well. And when I work with people, I do something called live and dry blood analysis. And in the dry blood analysis, we can actually see when someone has an adrenal insufficiency. So when their adrenal glands aren't working to the way that they should be, that we want them to be, that shows up in conjunction with their symptoms. So even if traditional blood tests, traditional testing can't say, yes, you have adrenal fatigue, we can attest to, if you're experiencing these symptoms, that's enough proof that your adrenals aren't working well. And what I like to call it is low adrenal function. So your adrenals aren't working how they're supposed to. They're low, they're slow, they're sluggish, you're tired, you're exhausted, you're craving salty things, you're feeling hangry, your blood sugars all over the place. So many different things can be coming up. Waking up in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., feeling exhausted at 3 p.m. You want to take a nap every single day. Okay, so there's a lot of things. That's the like overarching thing, in my opinion, of adrenal fatigue. And I want to validate you. If you're experiencing these symptoms, likely your adrenals aren't working optimally. Now, that doesn't mean that you go, oh, my adrenals suck. Oh my gosh, they're busted. All is hopeless. Like, I have adrenal fatigue. I'm going to be exhausted for the rest of my life. No. In the holistic health space, we get to believe that anything in the body can come back into balance with the right support. Your body has the power to heal itself when it has the ingredients that it needs to make that happen. If you're experiencing these things, there are some things that you can do to get your adrenals back on track. I'm going to speak to those in a moment, but first I want to help you to identify, help you to understand that your adrenals don't just go into a fatigue state, into a low state for no reason. So a little bit of the science of your adrenal glands: they sit on top of your kidneys, and one of their main functions is to release your stress hormones. So when your brain perceives a threat, there's a trigger, there's something that activates you, your brain goes, oh my God, we need to mobilize, we need to get away, something is unsafe here, causes adrenaline to be released first, and then if we don't get away from that threat, cortisol gets released. And you've probably heard about cortisol. It is so popular in the world. If you are listening to something about adrenals and stress functions, you've heard of cortisol. Maybe you have the symptoms of high cortisol, maybe you have the symptoms of low cortisol, whatever. When we are constantly doing that. So when we are living a life where we have to be on guard all the time, when we are living a life where we have experienced a lot of trauma and our nervous systems are now stuck in a fight or flight state, if you have kids and you are constantly taking care of them and you have a job that's really demanding, your adrenal glands are constantly having to release cortisol so that it can keep you alive in that longer term stress situation. Now, your adrenal glands weren't built for that. Your stress pathway was not built to be used for a long period of time. It was meant for a really short window. a really short window to get you away from the threat. The bear is coming at you. Okay, let's run away. Okay, let's fight it. Okay, let's freeze and be really still so that it doesn't get us. But in today's world, we're not getting ourselves out of that situation. We're staying in the spaces where there's a constant threat, where there's a constant activation of our nervous system. We are constantly perceiving that we are not safe and we must stay alert and on guard and alive. And oh my God, we're up here. Cue head, neck, shoulder tension. When this is happening, our adrenals are working way harder than they were ever meant to work. And back in the day, we may have never had adrenal fatigue because we didn't have this much stress in our lives. With that, it's really important that you take inventory. Yes, your adrenals are imbalanced. Yes, your adrenals are low, sure. And why did they get there? Why have you been doing so much? Why do you feel like you have to take care of everyone? Why does it not feel safe for you to truly rest? How come your nervous system doesn't know how to shift into a more relaxed state? See what I'm saying? Sure, your adrenals are low. Why are they low is more of what I'm curious about. And how can we make some shifts and changes in how you perceive your life, how you move through your life, so that your body can take a break. One of the biggest keys about healing your adrenal function is shifting your nervous system. We can't give the adrenals a break. We can't take the pressure off them if you're continuing to activate that stress pathway. Learning to regulate your nervous system. Maybe it's through breath work. It's one of the most powerful ways. It's the way that has worked for me and continues to work for thousands of people all of the time. One of the best ways to teach your nervous system how to come out of that stress state, how to come into the rest state, how to relax, how to rest. In the process, teaching you that you're safe. In the process, reprogramming that pathway that continues to spew out cortisol and continues to say everything's not okay. It rewires that, shows you that you are safe, teaches you how to come to a more rested and regulated place. And maybe all of these things aren't a threat. Maybe there is space in my day to relax, but because I'm up here, I can't see it. Another thing that comes with healing the adrenals is making sure we're getting enough nutrients in overall. In order to heal anything, the body needs nutrition. The body needs nourishment. Specifically, in the cases of stress and the adrenals, we need magnesium. We need B vitamins. We need zinc. We need vitamin C. And we need lots and lots of protein. Also, sodium, potassium, super important. We want to make sure we have enough of these nutrients so that the adrenals have the nourishment that they need to work, but then also to heal. Protein is going to be an essential piece. Most people that I work with are not getting enough of the right kinds of protein. They're not getting enough to support their body overall, but then with the added level of stress, they're not getting enough to meet those demands. So now there's deficiencies in the body. The body doesn't have what it needs. More stress activated. One thing that I think is so essential, that I know is so essential, especially when it comes to hormone balance, and in the cases of adrenals and stress, we'll save that for a different video, but the progesterone and cortisol relationship is so intertwined. And if cortisol goes up, if the adrenals are spewing that out, steals from your progesterone. I don't know why that word's sounding weird. Progesterone. Estrogen and progesterone. Sounding weird coming out of my mouth. I don't know. We need to make sure that we are lowering that cortisol first thing in the morning so that we have the nourishment. The body goes, yes, good, got this. Breakfast. A nourishing breakfast filled with protein, filled with vitamins and minerals, filled with fiber, balancing your blood sugar, giving your body what it needs, says, yep, I'm good. We can make it through this day. Cortisol goes down, stress deactivated. Ease. Having that breakfast within 60 minutes of waking up. Big one. Taking time in your day to rest, in your life to rest. I know there's a never-ending to-do list. There's things that need to be cleaned. There's people that need to be picked up. And it is essential for your nervous system to have space and time for itself where it can drop everything and everyone and go, oh, okay, just for me. Space just for me. if you don't have time booked into your calendar, blocked in there, your adrenals need that in order to heal. Space to let go, space to not have to hold everything up. Whew. And one more thing, one more piece that I will give you here today to support your adrenals in the easiest way is a topic of exercise. Now, I'm a little bit controversial when it comes to exercise in the wellness space because yes, we need to move our bodies. Yes, we've become more stagnant. Yes. And HIIT workouts, endurance workouts, anything really intense is only going to put an extra burden on the adrenals. Switching your workouts from high power, let's go do this, to something that's more relaxing, to a walk, to yoga, to yes, maybe we do weights, but maybe it's a little bit more gentle. Maybe that's actually not what we need. Maybe we take a break from intense exercise while we bring the adrenals back into balance. It's actually something that I did. And I've done it a few times actually, but there was one period where I gave up working out for 6 months. I was feeling exhausted. I knew my adrenals needed that support. And I had been a gym rat, so it was a really big identity shift for me at the time. But it is one of the things that I believe so strongly helped my body to heal, helped my adrenals to, no more pressure, at least not from that space. I hope you found this video informative and helpful and helped you to understand a little bit more about adrenal fatigue, maybe helped you feel a little bit more validated and that you have some practical tools that you can take into your life to start feeling better really frickin' quickly. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe. I'm going to be putting out so many more things like this. If there are topics you want to learn more about, let me know. Thank you for being here, for tuning in. Feel free to try out any of the breathwork sessions that are on this page. Start shifting your nervous system in real time, giving your body that break. Go schedule in some time for you and really give yourself the nourishment that you need. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.